Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Gita Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gita Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Ram Sankirtan ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Srishti and Nivedita.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Srishti is doing kirtan for every week after week for us. And day after tomorrow is Srishti's birthday. Let's all chant for her and please pray for her. She is a very wonderful devotee. And we pray and request to the Lord to give her intelligence, to make her all successful in life, and she can be a wonderful devotee as well. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much for the blessing.
Please keep you all give your blessings to her. She is a very wonderful girl, very sincere.
Thank you, Mataji.
Happy Krishna conscious birthday, advance birthday.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Very happy returns for the day.
Happy
God
Krishna
bless you.
conscious
Happy returns of the
birthday.
day.
Thank you, Mataji.
Very nice kirtans, very nice soulful kirtans. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sevapurna Mataji, for the seva, for the opportunity.
Yes, Mataji. For you only we are like doing kirtan and we got the seva and all. You bless her and she will improve in her in this.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, we welcome you all for our today's session. And today's session is very, very special. Thank you for the journey of Bhagavad Gita till chapter 6. And so till chapter 6. Now we have completed the one section of Bhagavad Gita, which is Karma Yoga. Basically, Krishna talks about the Nishkam Karma Yoga in this session, this section of the Bhagavad Gita. Of course, Krishna talks about a little bit Gyan Yoga, Dhyan Yoga also. But ultimate teaching of this is that by doing your duty sincerely, you attain the knowledge. With the knowledge, you practice the Ashtanga. And through Ashtanga Yoga, when you become perfect, you become a Bhakti Yogi. So, Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, they are not the different process. They are not the different probably way. This is all one way to reach. And this is a different rung on the yoga ladder. If you remember, yesterday we saw the yoga ladder. Started with the Karma Kanda, then Karma Yoga, then Gyan Yoga, then Dhyan Yoga. So, by doing our duty very sincerely, we develop the knowledge and detachment. When we develop the knowledge and detachment, then then we start practicing. Yesterday, Krishna said that Abhyas Yogena Yuktena Chetasa Nanegamana. By practice and detachment, you will he will become more and more fixed in the Bhakti Yoga. And we will be more stable in the Dhyan Yoga. And then after perfection of the Dhyan, when your mind is completely fixed upon me, when you start constantly thinking about me, then you become the Bhakti Yogi. So let's start this new chapter with the prayer. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadkamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Shachal He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanupute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Namini Nama Charya Padaya Nidaya Kripa Pradaya Ni Gaura Katha Dhamadaya Nagara Gram Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Can you all see the screen?
Mataji, Hare Krishna. So yoga ladder, like a simple one you want, or with the karma kanda, that one you're asking?
Yeah.
We showed it in chapter 3. I don't have. Okay, yeah, I will see.
Well, yeah, what we showed in chapter 6 also, the same one.
Okay. I'll send a new one, Mataji, then just.
Wait, then I will, let me start. Now I've already started. So now today we are starting the Bhagavad Gita chapter 7. We learned in the 6th chapter to be a perfect yogi. Krishna told Arjuna, it is important for you to become a yogi. And yogi means, what is the meaning of the yogi? What is the meaning of the yogi? Who is called yogi?
One who is connected with the God.
Yeah. So see, we are all talking about karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. So anybody who is trying to connect the Krishna, the Supreme Lord, through karma is called karma yogi. Anybody who is trying to connect themselves through knowledge, it's called jnana yogi. Anybody who's trying to connect the Lord with the Ashtanga yoga, it's called yogi. And then anybody who's trying to connect the bhakti, they are called bhakti yogi. So on that topmost yogi, Krishna is saying, is the one whose mind is completely fixed upon me. This is what Krishna says here. Yogi naam api. It's important to control the yoga, control the mind. But what do we do with the mind? Controlling the mind, and where do we fix it? And Krishna says, Yogi naam api sarvesham mad gater antaratmana. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamomataha. Of all the yogis, the one with a great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and render transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So when Krishna taught Arjuna to become yogi, Arjuna said it is very difficult to become yogi, Krishna. Mind is very turbulent, mind is very obstinate, mind is very strong, and it is very difficult to control the mind. Krishna said, by practice, slowly, slowly control. And control the mind and fix upon me. Same yukta tamomata. One who is intimately united with me. So a topmost yogi is not the one who is just trying to control the senses, but the topmost yogi is the one who tries to control the senses and fix his mind upon Supreme Lord. So now in the sixth chapter, Krishna told that your mind should be fixed upon me. In the seventh chapter now, Krishna will give that knowledge. Who am I? About him, he will give the knowledge. Till now, Krishna is talking about the mind control, the Gyan Yoga, the karma and all. He didn't speak about himself. Now, seventh chapter, because unless and if I have to remember somebody all the time, I have to know about him also. So now, since Krishna told Arjuna to fix his mind upon me, Krishna will also teach him about himself. Who is he? So Krishna will tell in this is the chapter name is, that's the reason, knowledge of the absolute. Absolute truth can be realized in three forms: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Brahman means that Krishna is a light. Effulgence of coming out of the body from Krishna is called the Brahman. The light which comes out from the body of the Lord is called Brahman. Paramatma feature of the Lord is one who stays in the heart as a Chaturbhuj Narayan form. It's localized. And that is called Paramatma. And Bhagwan is we have done all this in the second chapter and before that. Who is Bhagwan? One who possesses the sixth quality incomplete is called Bhagwan. So Krishna is Supreme Personality of God, Bhagwan. So now knowing Krishna means knowing everything. Bhagwan is a complete form of Brahman and Paramatma. Brahman and Paramatma is the partial realization of absolute truth. The partial realization of the absolute truth, like somebody sees the milk and he think that milk is only white color and it is liquid. Somebody hears about milk. He only has some imagination about the milk. Maybe it is liquid, maybe his color is like this. So he is just hearing. A person who takes the milk in the hand and drinks it, he has complete information about the milk. That milk is white in color because he can see also, he can taste also, he can how the milk tastes, he can feel also whether it is liquid or solid. So when we drink the milk, we have complete information about the milk. All of the information about the milk is also correct. Milk is white in color, right? Milk is liquid, right? Milk is sweet, is right. But the complete information is not there. The Brahman and Paramatma is the partial realization of absolute truth. And Bhagwan is the complete realization of the absolute truth. So in this chapter, Krishna will talk about the absolute truth. The chapter name is Knowledge of the Absolute. So now we are entering into the Bhakti Yoga. If you remember, we had discussed this before, that Bhagavad Gita is, if it is like a jewel box. So first 6 chapter is Karma Yoga, is the upper part of the box, this, and the last 6 chapter is the Gyan. No, first 6 chapter is a down part of the box. For last 6 chapter is the Gyan Yoga, which is the top box of the rod, this top door of the box. And then in between there is a jewel. If there's a box, what we are keeping inside is more important, right? Box itself has not so much importance. What is kept in the box is important. So Bhakti Yoga, the Acharya says, is the jewel inside that box. So this section, what we are going now to study today onwards for some time, next 7 to 12 chapter, is a Bhakti Yoga. It will teach us how to attain the loving relationship with the Lord by the process of devotional service. Because that is the complete realization of the Lord. Because here, by practicing the Bhakti Yoga, we develop the relationship with the Lord. There are so many stories of the Lord where Lord is very much happy by their loving relation with the devotees. There was one story. We should not misunderstand these stories. These are of the top devotees. So there was a, of course, we know about the Bhakti of the Shabri, we know of the Bhakti of the Sudama. This is a story of a person who was Ramdas, his name was, and who used to make the shoes. Very poor person, just make this, it's like if somebody's shoes are torn, he will make, or sometime he'll make the new shoe. And whatever the money he will earn from that, he will have the, he will do, like take care of the family. Very, very poor person. But he was a great devotee of the Lord. And he used to always, he had learned one word, Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, I am yours. Always he had learned this word. He did not know how to read. He did not know how to write. But he had learned that one word with some sadhus or some devotees, and that Krishna, I am yours. So one day, there was a thief, a group of thieves, and they were going and they had dropped some place, and then they had taken the deities were there. Deities were wearing the gold ornament and all. So they took that, all the ornament, and there was a Shaligram Shila. Shaligram is in the form of Shila. We know the story of Tulsi Maharani cursed the Supreme Lord to become like a stone. So Shaligram is like a stone, and that's why it's called Shila. There's no form in the Shaligram, it's just the stone. It's a very special stone found in Gandaki river, and that is called Shaligram. So he carried that, but he was a thief. He did not know the value of the stone. So he thought, what I'll do with the stone? And he was running with those jewels. So when passing on, he came to the, his shoe broke, and he came to the Ramnath, that shop, to make the shoe. So he saw Ramnath is just after, like when they make the new shoe, so they use the thread and all. So there is some instrument to cut the thread. So sometime to make that instrument sharp, they have some stone where they just grind it on, so that it becomes very, very sharp. So, or otherwise, sometimes they take the stone and just press all what they have made. So he saw in the shop this Ramdas had made new shoes, a pair of shoes. So he said, okay, I want to buy this shoe. So he said, okay, take. He said, but I will not give you money. I'll give you this stone. And this stone may be useful for you. So Ramdas said, okay, give me this stone. He was very simple, this cobbler. Then Ramdas kept that stone and started beating with that and on shoes, or sometimes he makes his all the instruments sharp on that stone. And But what he was every time when he was doing, what he was telling us, Krishna, I am yours. Krishna, I am yours. So Krishna was very happy with the Ramna. So one day Brahmana came over there, and Brahmana saw, because Shaligram has some mark on the face. Like there you will see the Shaligram, there is some lines, there is sometimes tilak mates, there's some line will go on the face of, there's some this thing. So he could identify, because he was a Brahmana, it's a Shaligram stone. Then he said, what you are doing? This is a Shaligram and you don't know how to worship it? Give it to me. It's a very, very valuable thing for me. You don't have value for it, but I know it is so valuable for me. I will take it. So he said, okay, take it. I will give you. I don't mind giving it to you. He didn't know that he's God or something. So he said, okay, you take this. I also got from somebody. Now you want to take care of it, you take it. So he took that, this one, and then that he kept in his altar, and he was doing very nicely worshipping, and he made all the arrangement of Abhishekam and the proper offering of the prasad. But the deity Shaligram said, hey, Brahmana, I am not happy with you. I'm not, I had so much fun with the Ramdas. I was enjoying the company of the Ramdas. Why did you bring me from there? I wanted to be with the Ramdas. He is so loving. He is always, like Ramdas used to always say, Krishna, I am yours. He did not know the Shaligram, but generally he used to say, Krishna, I am yours. So he said, I want to be with this thing. You go and give it to me. Give it to me to that Ramdas only. I don't want to stay with you. I'm not happy. So even though this Brahmana was very learned and he was trying to worship the Lord with so much awe and reverence, but Krishna was very happy with the very simple behavior and loving behavior of the Ramdas. So he came back and then he said, see, you are such a great devotee and Lord wants to stay with you. You didn't know who it is, but you see the Lord that is coming and wanting stay with you. Then this Ramdas realized, oh, this is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he made a small place for him and he started worshipping him regularly. So Lord can be, he's not attracted. Even in the Brahma Samhita, it says, Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atmam bhakto. By reading the Vedas, people cannot understand me. And they cannot even conquer me. So how? Adurlabham atma bhakto. Vedeshu durlabham. Ved padke I am durlabh, but adurlabham atma bhakto. A pure devotee of mine can very easily understand me. So what is important to understand, what is important to know about the Supreme Lord is to have a developed loving relationship with him. And that relationship conquers the Lord. So this Bhakti Yoga is the way that we develop the loving relationship with Krishna. And that is how we can conquer Krishna. With the loving relationship, he became Pandu's chariot, Arjuna's chariot driver. With the loving relation, he broke his own promise to please the Bhishma Deva. With the loving relation to save Draupadi, he came in the form of sari. He lifted even the sandals of Draupadi. So we see in the various examples that Krishna is conquered by the loving relationship. Generally, we have our relationship with the Lord with awe and reverence. Keeping him in the temple, morning, evening, I shall show some rituals and all. Krishna is, okay, that is also nice. Not that it is not nice. But Krishna is more pleased when Krishna says ki when the big Brahmana do the yajna, ahuti, when they give the ahuti, they say, Om Vishnave Namah Swaha, Vishnave Namah Swaha. So Krishna, through the yajna also, he is Yajnapati, so it all goes to him only. So he says, I don't like those kind of food so much. When a devotee of mine cooks something for me with love and care, I enjoy that. I enjoy that. When you make something very simple, even and offer the Lord with the love, Lord likes that more than when we offer something with a big, like it's just the yajna or havan we do, and that also is all offered to the Lord. But he's not very pleased with those offering. As much he's pleased by the loving offering which we do through the by something in like personally we do. So this chapter, Krishna will talks about the glories of knowledge about Krishna. why we should know about the Supreme Lord. What is the glory of knowing about Krishna? And now Krishna is not alone. Krishna has his different energies. The whole material world is Krishna's energy. Sometimes the atheist or the non-devotees, they say, we do not believe in God, but we believe in some energy. There is some superpower, some energy is there which is running everything. Because we have to accept. There is no way we cannot accept. Because such a wonderful creation it is, and how the things are happening so smoothly. We are like forced to accept that there is some energy which is working. How the child comes into the womb of mother, and how he's in the womb, he gets that developed. You believe that when the child is growing in the womb of mother, it's just like how the child survives. If we are there in one room which is completely closed and dark, we will suffocate. And child is there after 3rd, 4th month, the child gets the consciousness. And 4 or 5 months, he is in the womb in that situation and still alive. He gets his own food. And not only human child, it is even the animal have the same process. So, and as soon as he comes out, Krishna has made arrangement for her, the child. And not only the human child, all other birds and the animals child also. So it is not one thing. Like if we talk about the glories of Krishna, it's unlimited. So the glory of knowledge. So Krishna's different energy. And once a person knows the knowledge about Krishna, when he knows the energy of Krishna, then some people surrender and some people don't surrender even after knowing. Then Krishna talks about that, why people surrender and why they do not surrender. And then Krishna talks about so those who do not surrender to Krishna, what do? Whether they become impersonalist or they become demigod worshipper. And then he talks about from delusion to Maya to devotion to Krishna. So this is how this chapter talks about these things. Now we'll see the first 3 shloka. Today, I think probably we can do that. Glory about the knowledge. So hearing reveals the knowledge. So this shloka is the very first shloka of this section. First, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjam Manashrayah Asamshayam Samagrama Yatha Gyasyasi Takshinuhu. Krishna says here, oh Arjuna, Maya Saktamana Partha, Maya Sakta. You become completely attached to me. Your mind should be attached, asakt. Somewhere we have to have the asakti. Krishna said, your mind should be attached to me. Your mind, my asakta. Your mind should become it should be attached to me. Oh Partha, yogam yunjam madashraya. By the process of yoga. And mad ashraya. You should take complete shelter upon my lotus feet. And then he says, then you can know me in full. Ashamshayam samagrama. Samagram means completely you can understand me. Completely you can know me. By knowing about me, by hearing about me, you can know me completely. And how do you hear? Fixing your mind upon me. So Krishna here says, Yatha gyasyasi takshrinu. Tashrinu means, oh Arjuna, hear it carefully. Was it Krishna was not, Arjuna was not attentive? Why does Krishna remind that, oh Arjuna, listen what I am saying. Sometimes we say this when the people whom I am talking is not very attentive, or he is not very focused, or he is just somewhere. Then say, listen what I am saying is very important. Here Krishna says, you can know about me by hearing only, oh Arjuna. There is no other way to know about me. That is the reason what I am saying is very, very important for you. You must listen. Because to understand me, to know me, the process to know Krishna is about Shravana. So in the devotional service, there's 9 processes. And the first is Shravana, hearing. So once we start hearing about the Supreme Lord, then the knowledge is revealed to us. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Partha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me. So Krishna is continuing with the process of yoga, that your mind should be completely fixed upon me. You should take complete shelter of me. And then you will be knowing about me. Then you will be free from all the doubt. There will be no doubt. Sometimes we have the doubt about Krishna, whether Krishna is this or not, whether Lord is there or not, whether this is there or not. So we have lots of doubt. But Krishna says, if you hear carefully about me, you will not have any doubt about me. So I want to tell you about myself. You please hear carefully. So it is very important. So the first thing what we have in the practice of our Krishna consciousness, attentive hearing. Whether we are hearing the classes or whether we are doing the chanting. If we hear carefully, then Krishna reveals the knowledge in the heart. So there is absolute truth and relative truth. Absolute truth is what? Which is true at all the time, at all the places. That is why it is called absolute truth. It never changes. Absolute truth never changes. But the relative truth is there is changes. Today it is right, but tomorrow something else will be right. Like we see the advancement in science. Some scientists will come, some research will come, they will publish some theory. After 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, there will be another research and they will say, oh, this was not correct, this is correct. So when it is said, it looks like it is truth, but it keeps changing. But the absolute truth, there is no change. That is the reason we try to gain the knowledge from the absolute place. Absolute truth means that we try to understand even what we are doing in our day-to-day life also, we try to acquire the knowledge from the absolute truth, from the scripture. Whatever, that is a perfect. It was correct 5,000 years before or 50,000 years before. It is correct today also, and it will be correct after 20 years or another 500 years. Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago. Is the Bhagavad Gita not correct in today's world? Do you feel that, oh, this is a very obsolete knowledge? No, it is. When we read Bhagavad Gita, probably we realize, oh, this knowledge is exactly like me, but this thing. Why I do not know about it? Because there is no change in this knowledge. So that's what Krishna will talk about. So like sun gives out the light. That's absolute truth. Under any circumstances, the sun will give the light. But the name of the city keeps changing. Like if you see the city, so many cities' name has been changed now. Like the Bombay has become Mumbai, and other places also, like so many places, the name has been changed. Earlier there was some other name. Over a period of time, the name has been changed. And now there is some other. So it can be changed. It can be changed. Before the freedom, there was some other name. After the freedom, there is some another name people are changing. So these are the things which is changing. It is not absolute. But sun gives out the light is, it was 5,000 years, 500 years ago, and another 500 years later also, it will be the same. So in the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, the living entity has been described as non-material. How it is being described? Non-material. Because as a living entity means soul. Spirit souls capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yoga. So how do we realize this absolute truth? By the different types of yoga. So the whole purpose of Krishna's teaching to Arjuna was to let him realize who you are. The first thing was that you realize first who you are. Because if you do not know who you are, everything, like if the first calculation in the maths is wrong, all the calculation will go wrong only. So similarly, when we do not know who we are, everything what we are doing is an illusion. It is not correct. It is not giving us the proper thing. Like we all say that we want to be happy in the world. And we are making so much effort to be happy in the world. But the thing is, we do not know how to become happy because we do not realize who we are. So we are trying to make our body happy. And by making body happy, we think that the soul also will be happy. But that is not there. Being the body needs the comfort and soul needs the happiness. So, but we think that by giving more and more comfort, we'll be happy, but it is not, because the identification is wrong. So, to identify ourselves correct, only Krishna has given the knowledge. First, you know who you are, and then you be on that perfection, that how to perfect yourself, to understand that be stable on the platform of the soul. Different yoga is there. At the end of the 6th chapter, it has been clearly stated that the steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest from all yoga. By connecting one's mind upon Krishna, one's able to know the absolute truth completely, not otherwise. I see. Yeah. So this sloka will talk about little more detail. Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyami asheshatah yadgyatva meha bhuyod anyah gyatvayam avishishyate. So Krishna says, Jnanam teham savijnanam. You should know the knowledge and practical application about me. So I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and luminous. Phenomenal and luminous means Krishna's greatness and Krishna's sweetness. The first knowledge is Krishna's greatness. We know that Krishna is so great. If you read the Bhagavatam, we read that when Krishna breathes, the innumerable universes is coming out of the mouth, outside different pores of the body of the Krishna. When Krishna is maintaining the whole universe, creating, maintaining, annihilating the whole universe, we are not able to maintain our own house also. So much stress is there. Krishna has no stress in maintaining. Just by breathing only and just by desiring only, everything is created and maintained. So he is so great. And at the same time, he is so sweet. Sometimes the great personalities are very proud. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is great, and at the same time, Krishna is very sweet. And the sweetness of Krishna we see in the Vrindavan pastime. When he was in so you can see here that Krishna is creating the innumerable universes from his body. All this are different universes. And the same Krishna is carrying the shoe of his father on his head. And this is sweetness of Krishna. He says, when you know the greatness and sweetness about me, nothing more to know about you. So Gyan means knowledge and Vigyan means application, like how Krishna is great, but at the same time, he is so sweet also. So complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal word, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. This is transcendental knowledge. So there is two types of knowledge in the material world. Actually, the knowledge in the material world is called that knowing the matter, knowing the spirit, and knowing the relation between matter and spirit is the complete knowledge. And one who is controlling this. So I will again repeat. Knowing the matter, the whole material world is made up of matter. Knowing the spirit. Spirit means the soul. And who is maintaining the matter and spirit? Super soul. So this is called God, is Ishvara, Jiva, who's self, and the word which is Prakriti. So these three things are there. Prakriti is there, Jiva is there, and Ishvara is there, and there is a relation between these three. And this is a complete knowledge. So know about the matter and spirit, both. Knowing about the matter, what is matter and what is spirit. And what is relation between matter and spirit, and who is controlling it. This is complete knowledge. So this is what Krishna will teach. So how to attain this knowledge? There is two processes always. Ascending process and descending process. Ascending process is, I will try and make an effort and find the absolute, and then I will believe. That is ascending process. And descending process is, I will accept the authority, and then I will follow the authority, And by following the authority, I will get realization. Understanding? There are two types of people. One of them is like they want to know everything by doing it. So much effort they put. It's a very expensive kind of learning, because sometimes it takes your whole life to understand one thing. It is so much expensive learning, and also in the scripture says it's a third grade learning, because you are wasting so much time to learn one thing. The best learning is that I see somebody, hear from somebody, and with their experience, I try to learn things in my life. That is an intelligent person. He doesn't waste his time. But the person who is trying to do everything, and I will do it, and I will see it, and then I will realize it, only I will believe it. So it's very difficult. So descending process, what is important is faith. Ascending process, they don't have any faith. Descending process, there is a faith. The system starts with the faith. I have some faith in the process. Like we have some faith in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is a scripture which is given by the Supreme Lord. So I have some respect, faith for Krishna, and I have some faith for Bhagavad Gita. I may not have absolute faith. I may still not agree everything what is said in Bhagavad Gita. But I have a little bit faith in Krishna. Let me try. And then we start reading Bhagavad Gita. Then we try to practically apply the things. And then we see changes in us. And then our faith increase. Okay, this is right. And then we do a little bit more. And then we again develop some more faith. So this process initial faith develops into the more faith by practice it. There was one devotee, he is our ISKCON devotee only. I heard this story some time back, and he was a devotee, and he said, when somebody like ISKCON people generally distribute Bhagavad Gita on the road. So he got Bhagavad Gita, and he was going through some issues in the life, and he thought, I will read the Bhagavad Gita. Let me read Bhagavad Gita. Somebody like this book. And he read the Bhagavad Gita. And he said, the first time I read the book, I thought nothing makes sense for me. He was a foreign body, and he was in black, this thing. And he said, it doesn't make any sense. And he said, I am not going to read this book again. Whatever is mentioned here, it does not make any sense to me. And he keeps the book in the shelf. After a few months, he liked only 1 or 2 lines. Most of the thing he was not ready to agree. Few things he likes, like maybe somewhere something. So after a few months, again, after 6 to 8 months, he said, okay, let me try to read one more time. This time, if I don't understand, I will throw this book out from my house. I will not even keep this book in my house. The second time he read again the same book, Bhagavad Gita. And second time he started understanding a little bit better, and he developed some more interest that, oh, there's something makes more sense to me in my life. And then he said, but still there is a lot of like things which I don't understand. But okay, from the first time, second time, he became a little bit better. So, and then he read third time. And then he said, when I read it third time, like somebody was asking him how you became devotee, how you like came into this process. And he was telling his own story. And he said, third time when I read, everything what was written in there, it was making sense to me. And then I looked up the sky, knowing that that author of this book is somewhere in the sky. You won and I lost. And he said, then I developed this book has some meaning. So initially, first time reading, maybe we do not have complete faith. But by reading it constantly, we will start understanding. The process will start working on me. And then slowly, slowly, we will develop more faith and we will understand it better. So initially, all of us, like when we read, it was not so like, maybe this knowledge is we don't understand. Sometimes it looks very impractical. Prabhupada explanation will look also very impractical. Oh, what it is he has written. Maybe this is not for me. Maybe it doesn't make sense for me. Maybe it is not very interesting. But just do it because it's absolute. The matter is absolute. Slowly, slowly work. So this is a descending process. I see people doing. I also try to develop, I develop some faith and I try to do it and develop more faith and then continue. So this is there are two ways of learning, ascending and descending. Science work to some level by discovering what already exists. So that is why it is called research. Already what is there searched, science is doing research. It's trying to establish those facts. Now we are reading the Bhagavatam. We just finished the third canto. And as I was mentioning, this the development of the child in the mother's womb has been described day-wise. After the 6th day, 5,000 years ago, there was no sonography and some ultrasound and all. But is so well after the 6th day, how the ovum and sperm, they become like a ball, and complete description is there. So it has been there. Now we are trying to establish those facts again. The Vedic cosmology describes about the different planets, their motions, their positioning, how the day and night is happening, how the seasons are changing. All those things are described in our scriptures. It's very, very vast. Our scriptures are very, very vast. We talk about only Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita here. You read the Vedas, the Puranas, what not is there? Everything is there. Everything is there in our scripture. So science is trying to re-establish those facts, which is already existing. So this is ascending process. I want to learn by myself. Is it so? Can we do everything by ascending process? Prabhupada gives this example various times. You will hear this example from various times with various devotees, that if you want to know your father, what is the best way to know? To go to your mother and ask. Ascending process is ki I will go and ask every men in the whole world and check if he is my father, he is my father, he is my father, he is my father, he is my father. And by doing that, it says it will take some 40 lakh years. Some number is given. Because we cannot do that. And then those who were there, they would have passed away also. So that process it takes so much time, and it may not give you the complete answer. Somebody may cheat you also, that I am your father. How do we know whether he is my father or not? But if we go to the mother and ask, who is my father? Mother is the best person to tell us who is my father. So taking the knowledge from the mother is called descending process. We go read the scripture, go to the guru, learn the science, learn the facts from them. And ascending process is that I will find myself and believe, which is not practically possible also. So people say, when I see and then I believe. So it is said that, is it possible to see the mind and intelligence? Somebody, there was one joke, this thing, a boy in the school was there, and the teacher said, there is no God, because we cannot see the God. God is not there. So there was one child, probably he was reading Bhagavad Gita, and he had read Prabhupada books, and he came and said, so sir, can you see your mind? Or can you see your intelligence? So if you do not see your, no, I cannot. Does it mean that your mind and intelligence you don't have the mind and intelligence? There is gross and there is subtle. We can only see the gross. We cannot see the subtle. That is why it is called subtle, which is beyond our eyes to see. And Krishna is even more subtler than the subtle. The subtle becomes mind, intelligence, and ego. Paramatma comes even more subtle. So we cannot see Paramatma by our gross senses. That is not possible. Gross senses have a limitations. So how do we see? How do we realize? Does that mean we don't have mind and intelligence? This is ascending process. So when we try to understand any truth by ourselves, so we are having the 4 defects. And with the defects, it is very difficult to find out anything beyond our limit. So first is the tendency to commit mistake. We all have tendency to commit. We are not perfect being. We all know that we are not perfect being. We have the we always, if you do something, there is a mistake. We make mistakes. Then our senses are imperfect. Senses are imperfect means senses have limitations. We cannot see beyond certain thing. We cannot hear beyond a certain range. So our senses are imperfect. I do not know what is happening. Sometimes it happens now, somebody is sitting behind me making fun of me and everybody is laughing and I do not know what is happening. Why everyone is laughing? Because God has not given me eyes behind. And then suddenly you turn and see, oh, that person was making some funny faces and trying to tease and everybody else was laughing. So our senses are imperfect. Or somebody is talking about me in the next room. I do not know what they are talking. So if our senses are so limited that we do not know what is happening in surrounding me, how do we expect that we will know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is so subtle? Then we have cheating propensity. Cheating propensity is that we always have that, we try to cheat. We try to always cheat. Like this is a tendency in us that we always have this why trying to do the cheating. And there is fourth is to be illusioned. And we know that there's so many optical illusion in our life that sometimes you see the rain like water on the sunny sand and it looks like a water. Sometimes you put the pencil in a glass, the pencil will be straight but it will look like a slanting because of the optical illusion. So like that we are having illusion. So with all this defect we cannot know by ourselves the perfect Supreme Personality of Godhead. So lesson what we learn is we are imperfect. Consult perfect source for the life decision. So it is not that only I am imperfect in these senses. This what we discuss is it is every human being have these defects. So if we really want to know the real problem of the life, or we really want to understand the Supreme, the perfect person, then we have to go to the perfect source. And where do we find about him? How do we know about him? By hearing. So much importance is given in the scripture for hearing. That the whole realization of absolute truth is only because of the hearing. So that is the reason there is a satam prasanga mama virya samvido. The Bhagavatam says ki, in the association of great devotees, when you hear about me, it completely destroys the ignorance in your heart. Ignorance means the first ignorance is that I do not know who am I. I consider myself as a body. Then the second ignorance is we have the anger, the lust, the greed, all this there. So all this illusion can be taken away when we start hearing about the Supreme Lord. Because we think ourselves as a great. When it is said sometime, na, when the camel goes under the mountain, only he realizes how tall he is. Otherwise, camel thinks I am so tall. But when he goes near the mountain and look at the mountain and he thinks, oh, my height is nothing. And it makes him humble. So when we start knowing about the Supreme Lord, so we understand how insignificant we are. Sometimes I tell this many times that someone's, I asked like my Guru Maharaj that how to not have that pride, because we all develop some kind of pride. He said, what you are pride of? What belongs to you? Nothing belongs to you. Even the knowledge what you have, it is the mercy of Krishna. So what you are proud of? You are so insignificant. Yes, we are so insignificant. Nothing belongs to us. Nothing is in my control. I feel it is in my control. Nothing is in my control. So when we know about the person who has control everywhere, and when I understand that I have no control on anything, then it is easy for me to surrender to that person. Till the time I feel that I can control something, I will not surrender. Because I think I will make it all right. I think I can do it better than anything. So surrender does not come. So descending process is which is knowledge coming from the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter, if you remember, Krishna says, Tadvidi pranipaten pariprashnena sevya ubdekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Seeing the number 34, I remember this is this shloka what I told is the 4th chapter, 34 shloka. Shloka number 34. Tadvidi pranipaten pariprashnena sevya. You go to Guru, humbly serve him and try to understand the absolute knowledge from him. He will give you that knowledge because he has learned that knowledge from his Guru. So this knowledge is coming from the Guru Parampara, the disciplic succession. And each student goes to the master and learn the knowledge. So Prabhupada went to the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati went to the Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, he went to Bhakti Vinod Thakur. The knowledge is coming from Narada, Brahma, Krishna. And that is how it has been passed on to us. Certain place we have. So as I said, we have to have this knowledge. First, we have to have some faith. Everything, everywhere in the life, the faith is one. How many of us go to the medical college and ask the professors, do you have the degree to teach me? Or how many times we go to the aeroplane and ask the pilot, first you show me your license, then only I will sit on the flight. I don't know whether you are qualified to drive the aeroplane or not. Because we are we know that there is a system and that system has all the checks. And I am going through that system, and that is the reason I don't need to check. So what we develop the faith in the process, not in the person. I don't know that flight, the one who is like a pilot of the flight, but I know that he has gone through all the tests and he would have passed. That is why he is there. Sometimes we see that like there is some mistake because it's a material world, it's full of mistakes. But even though we have faith, so we have to put faith in the system. When we are going to the doctor, when he writes the medicine, we have faith that he's giving me the right medicine. He's not giving me the poison. We don't know that, like nowadays, it is a little bit easier. You go internet and check this medicine is for what. But generally, we don't, like when he's giving, we have faith that he's knowing that my disease and giving me the right medicine. Like when we go to the barber, we have our head down even to the barber, and we are sure that barber is only going to cut my hair, not my head. That faith is there. So that is how, and then the process work. So similarly, knowing about the absolute truth, we have to develop the faith in the system. And that is the reason it is very important. This is the reason Shastra says that go to the right place. Then you will not be cheated. So we have to learn the knowledge from the absolute, from someone, but that person should be authentic, coming from the proper source. And then we take the knowledge from them, and then it works. So who tries to understand Krishna and who can understand Krishna? Is the time over? We'll do it next class or what?
Yes, Mataji, it is 9:06.
Yeah, okay, sorry. So we will continue. This is a very important shloka actually. It will need more time. Manushya nam sahasreshu kaschid yatyati siddhe yatetam api siddhanam kashichan mam vedi tatvata. So it will take more time. So we'll do this chapter, continue this chapter to next week. Is there any question? So what we learned today, that Krishna gave the importance about hearing about himself, and Krishna told that there is once you know about me, there is two ways to know, no, matter and the spirit. Completely knowing about me, you should know the material world, you should know the spirit, and you should know who is controlling material world and spirit both. That is a complete knowledge. And how do we get this knowledge? By hearing. From where? From the right source. When we hear from the right source, we attain the knowledge. So there is two processes for attaining the knowledge, ascending and descending. Ascending process where we try ourselves, and there are chances of making mistake because we have these defects. and there is a descending process. Descending process, the flaw is that there has to be some faith first. And then you work, then you follow it, and then you develop the more faith. If you have no faith, then descending process will not work for you. But then the same time, we saw that you have to put your faith everywhere in the life. If there, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Samshay Atma Vinashyati. Anybody who has always doubt, he is, he can never be happy. Samshay Atma Vinashyati. Because doubting person, there is no happiness in this world or in the next world.
It's a disease, ma'am. They are paranoid.
Yeah.
They
So
doubt
doubting person, yeah, doubting person is, I don't know. So they'll never be attain any perfection or any happiness.
Doubt themselves also. They doubt others, that's fine. But they
Yeah.
doubt themselves whether I am doing correct or wrong. It's a big disease.
Yeah. So doubting person. So we have, so where we put our faith, the scripture, the sadhu, the shastra, the guru, right place. Maybe we should put some faith and then start the process from there.
Mataji, can I make a observation?
Yes, sure, Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji, there's one danger is that there are so many cheaters around that if we put our faith in wrong place, then our whole spiritual life can be destroyed. So one thing is very careful is that we are to judge by the result. And we have to find out what is the result of the particular organization, how they are, and then only make a decision that yes, this is the way to go. Because that I think is very important, because there's so many cheaters around, and I've seen people being cheated so much.
Yes. Prabhupada has said, if you want to be cheated, you will be cheated. You also have to be very observant and take the right thing from the right source. Sometimes we want cheap thing. We want the good thing in a cheap price. And that is where we get cheated also. So if you want something valuable, as I tell this example of Prabhupada, somebody asked Prabhupada, you are giving such a nice philosophy, but even though your followers are so less, we see very less people with you. Prabhupada said, I am a diamond merchant. There are very people have the the value of diamond, and they have a capacity to buy the diamond. So when we are trying to get something, we should always know that this knowledge and all, it's not that easy that by not doing anything also we will learn, or by not doing anything also we will progress. So sometimes we see easy gain in the society, what Prabhu is saying. So I might get cheated. We should find put the faith in the right place. As you do so much inquiry for anything in the life, like, no, we don't want to be cheated. So we put so much of our inquiry and effort. Similarly, in the spiritual life also, we should do some inquiry. We should try to understand what is right, what is wrong by ourselves, by following different things. And then we should follow, not that blind following. Ashtanga Yoga and Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga, if I believe, is like torturing the body. I don't know actually. It is my guesswork. Ashtanga Yoga, I know that it is what we read is Ashtanga Yoga. Hatha Yoga is like more giving torture. Like, unless and until I get it, I'll just like torture my body or something like that. I don't have very detailed knowledge about it, Prabhu. I'm sorry. This is what is my understanding with the name Hatha Yoga.
That's what the Asuras used to do.
Yes, Prabhu.
I have seen Chennai. I have seen this in Chennai.
That is what people used to do for Siddhi.
Yes, Prabhu, first you said, Gopi Prabhuji, what you're saying?
See, the Hatha Yoga is basically what people used to do to get the Siddhi. They didn't have any other objective other than, and that was mostly the Asuras used to do that. They used to want all kinds of powers. So they used to get involved in that. The devotee's path is not that.
Yeah. Ashtanga Yoga also, when it is done only for Siddhi, probably that becomes the Hatha Yoga. But Ashtanga Yoga, when we connect it to the Supreme Lord, like Krishna is teaching us Yogi Namapi Sarvesha, Madgatere Antaratmana, then it is attaining the Supreme Lord. Yes. Yes, doctor, you were saying something, Dr. Anju.
Yeah, I saw something in Chennai. There they put the nails in the skin, then they pull the stones, and even in the ears, even they do with the tongue. It was just, I mean, you can't even understand what they are doing.
I
So
know.
what,
It's
and they wear those dresses,
no.
Bhagavad, black, and
Yeah,
they have 3 types of dresses there. Black,
I know.
one is that
That's a
Bhagavad
very, that's a
red.
tamoguna worship. Tamoguna worship of the Supreme, or
I
the,
know.
whatever they are trying to get some yogi siddhi or something. It's a tamoguna worship where you are torturing your body, doing something. All this is tamoguna.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So we will continue reading 7th chapter for the next week also. So if there is nothing, then we can wind up the session.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Please, maybe many of you are reading first time. If you have some comment about like not understanding also, please feel free. We will stop there and try to explain a little bit more. But definitely in the first go, it will be little like, it will be better. I always say ki if you also read at home, little bit, then it will become little bit easier. So don't be disheartened if you don't even understand something. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhesha Kripasindhubhesha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavendra ki jai.